welcome people to Take Me to a Dungeon, a dungeon crawler roguelike game, and I'll be your personal blue-eyed blonde big tomatoes tour guide. We will explore the depths of the dungeon together and cuddle during the shower time. The story of the game begins with you saying farewell to an anime girl and waking up in the real world, which after that an earthquake happens and you go inside your laptop. You wake up in a forest and then get chased by an orc. Right before you get crushed by the orc, a girl saves you with the camera angle aiming at her panties. Your A is so weak and afraid, so you have to throw a rock to distract the monster. After you defeated the orc, the girl will introduce herself as Una, and you will go back to the city. But first, you will enter a dungeon sequence and have to fight the orc. At the start of the battle, you have only rocks, but later you will gain more abilities. The fighting mechanics of the games are pretty simple. You have cards, you use them to attack, they cost energy, when you're out of energy, you rest to recover. But when you run out of cards, you have to sacrifice one to replenish the rest. All cards have different abilities and when discarded some can give you bonuses, but about the card system later. But it's almost the same like Slay the Spire, but with But before you go to the dungeon, you'll be given tutorials about the shop and the dungeon. In the shop you can buy your new cards, runes or craft runes with abilities. These runes can be used to enhance your cards. The more you progress, the more you unlock, but you'll need only some, like damage and bleed. But at the beginning I suggest you to use whatever you want. Later on I will tell you what deck you will need. When you enter the dungeon you have stages with floors. You have the main missions and the side ones if you want to farm resources. You don't need to do them. The game is quite generous with its rewards. Your map would look like this, and you can choose 3 paths. There are different encounters on each floor. The first is normal enemies, which just give you golden runes. The second is rare monsters. They give you a choice of 3 perks that work like roguelike relics, but the monsters are stronger. Mutated monsters which give you mutated items for the run. Events which are just side stuff with 3 choices with different results, and these results give you the chance to upgrade your abilities, and if you stumble upon them again, you have the bonus remembered as a choice. But some events can be just bad, like being ambushed by slimes, and then you know what they do in these games. Treasure is where you pick a relic. Sometimes it will be a mimic chest which will try to do something with its tongue, and shop is where you buy stuff. Every stage has 2 bosses. Before the first boss you can rest to replenish health and cards, and you have a cute cutscene where you can live now or rest but lose some bonuses. Before the second boss you have the hot springs, which give you a bonus to pick before the fight, and you and Una are naked. The first boss of the first stage is an entry. His color is green, that is his element. You have speed, magic and strength and non-attribute, and they counter each other like this. Besides the none. Just throw shit at him, there is no tactic. If you can defeat him first try, it's okay, I ran out of cards too. After you defeat him you have a nice hug with her and your character gets a bit horny, but at least you vow to protect her no matter what. You may be horny, but not a monster. The final boss is a tentacle monster, and if you get defeated by it, well, I presume you have watched enough hentai with tentacle beings. After you defeat the boss you have this epic scene of them fighting. Now it's a good game, okay? Some scenes are like this, but they invested good time into the others. Then you protect Una from a tentacle and you get sprayed by G's all over you. Your character will be feeling a bit off. You get home and Una has to take a bath, while your character is getting hotter and hotter. When she comes out of the bathroom, she'll see your thingy hard, and if you do nothing about it, it will explode. So she uses her mouth to help. After the completion of a stage, you will receive dust. There are 3 kinds of dust, one for life, one for crystals and one for cards to hold during battle. They're only received from first time main stage completion, so you can't farm them. After that you go to the second stage and you see a glimpse of a vampire queen. When you reach the first boss of the stage, you get a sad convo between you and Una about her sister, who disappeared. The first boss is a mutated rat that changes its color every few turns. When you defeat the bat, Una will be half naked and your character will stare directly at her melons. After that, before the final boss, an earthquake appears and you have to save Una from falling down into a pit by telling her to remove her clothes so you can pull her up, and you again stare at her melons. You meet the vampire queen and she gets weirdly attached to Una and starts sniffing her intensely. For you, well, you're nothing. If you get defeated by her, you have to watch how the Vampire Queen and Una are doing some intense vampire action. Using my half attack and half poison build, I defeated her. Una will attack her and the Vampire Queen will run away. Then Una finds her diary and rolls her handwriting. You and Una go to a restaurant and she gets very drunk from one beer. You walk her home, but she won't allow you to leave because she doesn't want to be left alone. Then you have an intense, intimate moment in bed. She tries to apologize, but when you say it's okay, she asks for a second round. Before the third stage, you will learn about the demon mistress that we will see later. When you enter the third stage, Una will feel like she's being stalked, which is true, but we don't know that. And your character smells her again. The first boss of the stage is the Minotaur. He's pretty powerful and changes attributes, but I won. After you defeat the Minotaur, you get chased by some orcs and you get lost in the dungeon. Then you get stopped by a hot woman and get this high quality scene of her recognizing you and trying to kiss you, but Una saves you before that happens. Before the final boss of the stage, you get chased again by some orcs and have to hide in a small spot, and your character, even like this, starts acting up. When you reach the final boss, she will attack you and present herself as the demon mistress, Pamela. Her fight was very easy. She will change the color of your cards and that of her attributes. In her second stage, you'll make 2 copies of her and hide her color. And when you defeat her, Pamela will throw a potion at you with the same liquid from the tentacle monster. You will start seeing multiple Unas. That's because you have been divided into 3 very horny versions of yourself. But don't worry, Una will save us by doing the thing with all your 3 versions. When you're done, you head back home and start thinking if you really wanna go back to the real world. You will be introduced to a new mechanic that I forgot about because I've never used it. When you enter a shop, you can make your own cards and use them in the game, but I don't really use this feature. It's cool, but I've already made a powerful build. In the fourth stage, you'll be followed by Pamela. When you go further, she will tell you that she just wants to stick with you for a while, cause she doesn't have anything to do, and she tells us that she is not the demon mistress. The events with her are pretty funny because Pamela is a bit of a prankster. In one event, she will want you to scare Una, or you can team up with Una to scare Pamela, or another where Una and Pamela change bodies when they accidentally bash their heads, so you can either try to turn them back by hitting their heads together or just watch, or another where she is a lazy princess. Before the first boss of the stage, Una and Pamela will be having fun, and when you comment about it, Pamela backs off, but then saves Una and calls her sis and tells us that her sister looks like Una. Very interesting. The first boss will be a dragon. Now, the dragon is very strong and I barely beat it by having only 1 card left. The only special thing about it is that it can deal a lot of damage. When you defeat the boss, Pamela will tell you that you've been the only ones here and that Una's sister might be dead. Then Una will come back and you have 2 choices. Now these choices will determine your ending. If you want the good ending, tell her the truth, that her sister might be dead. If you want a normal, tell her nothing happened. She'll be very sad and admit that she thinks the same, but you promise you'll find the artifact to save her sister. When you reach the last boss, she will stop you and she will reveal to you that she is the real mistress, and that her name is Mona and she won't let you run away again. Her battle is a bit hard, because she has a lot of HP, and in her second phase she gets a shield on top of that, so you might run out of cards. When you get defeated by her, she will say that you can be together forever, and will let you play with her melons, and she will make you continue until you faint. Then Pamela will save you and Una and you can go again. This time I started using a guide. I will link it below, but it's bleed stack build with rest. So you can basically stack on attacks and use the rest card for more stacking, and a free ability used to get more stacks. The more stacks you have, the more damage you do, and after you have done your rotation you can use Tiger Slash, which does a lot of damage, and bleed finishes them off. So if you didn't get what I meant, use your cheapest abilities to get stacks, and then use rest to get a free card to use and heal, and finally when you get a lot of stacks and enough points, use Tiger Slash for major damage. But every stage you change the build with different cards and runes, because you get more runes and cards each stage you complete. And the cool thing about the build is you get a lot of stones to throw. If you want to optimize your damage and win first try, go for treasures, shops and elite monsters, because the artifacts you earn in the dungeon are lifesavers. When we defeat Mona, she will rush to kiss you on the mouth and Una strikes back, but Mona is too strong, so Pamela saves us and we escape. but Una is very jealous and takes you to her bed and you do the funny number position and then you do the deed. You continue to search for Mona and find that an escaped monster knows about the artifact you search for. You go to the different dungeon and the monsters you search for know you're coming and they're very well hidden. And totally not some succubuses. Also, they have a plan to play with you. When you enter the dungeon, you and Una will get very sleepy and fall asleep, but only you will wake up and see 5 succubuses in front of you, with their leader having the biggest melons from all of them. And she will tell you that you have something she wants, and that's your little cucumber. You ask her for the artifact and she'll agree to help you if you become her toy, but she gives you another option. If you make it to the end, you get the info. If you fail, you become her toy. I mean, not too much of a loss if you ask me. Then you both wake up and continue on. On every floor, a succubus will appear. If you hit them once, they disappear, so they are not a problem. And the events in this dungeon are very strange. They're all dreams that you, Una, and the succubuses are in. It's either beach party or some random restaurant, or you joining the entry to spy on girls in the bathroom. The first boss of the dungeon is the 4 succubus servants. Now, if you followed the guide I recommended you should have splash on your tiger slash, which will attack the 3 nearest targets. So it's going to be easy when you get enough stacks. There is nothing special, just one of them is asleep and you can attack her after you defeat all of them. After the battle, you fall asleep and meet the succubus queen again. She will grant one answer to your question because you defeated her children and the vampire queen from before. You ask her about the artifact and she tells you you can have only one wish, but cannot bring people back to life or kill anyone. But she tells you not to try, which is kinda sus. The final boss battle is all the succubus monsters, but her children are on low health because of the last battle. It's a bit harder because they're more and do more damage, and thus I failed my first try and the queen gave me to her children as a toy, but I managed to escape so we can try again. When you defeat the succubus queen, she'll put Una to sleep, and you and the queen and her servants will have some fun. This is the only scene that is not animated, but at least the scene after that is. She will tell you that Mona conquered the dungeon and banished her from the place. To reach her, you need to find the secret passage. After getting prepared, we enter the dungeon. We'll meet Pamela inside and find the secret passage. The first boss of the dungeon will be the Reaper himself. The way you beat him is doing a lot of damage. He does 3 things: heal, shield, and do a lot of damage. When you defeat the Reaper, Una will start hugging Pamela a lot, and she will say that she acts like her gone sister, which makes the character wonder about the succubus queen's message. Then you have to choose again between 2 options: to tell her the truth or lie to her. If you want the good ending, tell her the truth. If you want the normal, lie to her. If you tell her that you can't resurrect her sister, she'll start crying, and when she comes down, she promises us she will get us home. When you reach the cool looking room of the artifact, Mona will appear out of a portal and she won't let you go anywhere, and the epic fight begins. You can see probably from the recording how many items I have on me. I have stacked up for this shit. This is the most epic battle in the game, by the way. Her first move will be to gain a shield, and after each turn she'll gain stacks until you break the shield, then she'll attack you and go to her second phase. In the second phase, Pamela will join the fight and summon a bomb that they will push towards you. The only tactic here is to attack the bomb so it explodes on Pamela. The third phase begins after you defeat Pamela, and she will transform into this and create a black hole in the middle of the battle. Her attacks will decrease the value of your cards and trigger a burn effect on you. After decreasing her HP to 1, she will heal herself to 100%. Then she will create a giant black ball that will crash right into Una, but she will use all of the cards to defend herself, resetting your whole deck, and the whole map changes with a gap between the two. The fourth stage is pretty regular, with her doing attacks and changing her attribute color upon decreasing her health to 1 again. She'll start saying some random ass stuff and start smashing meteorites on Una, which will make your whole interface fall out of existence. You can't really do much here than survive, until the whole interface falls from the screen, and after that this damn epic scene begins, where Una disappears and reappears again to attack Mona. Then Mona and Una will exchange blows between one another until Una finally defeats Mona, and then the victory screen appears. Kinda funny if you ask me. Mona will be a bit naked it because of the fight, but she will continue to struggle. Una will keep on fighting for you to get to the artifact, but you charge at Mona and refuse to go home and leave Una. You will tell her that you want to stay with her forever. You go to the artifact and wish to stay with Una forever, to which she says the same, and all of a sudden the artifact starts glowing, and it seems that Mona is accepting her fate at this point. You and Una will end up in a temple of a sort, under the starlit sky with the moon shining brightly above. Una will be dressed in a wedding dress and you in a white suit. After some confusion, the artifact speaks up and awards you for completing the dungeon with a wish, and that is to get married. The artifact gives you a ring that you need to put on Una. She gladly accepts to be with you forever, and you insert the ring on her finger and kiss. That scene, I will say, is very adorable. And after you get married, the first thing you do is do the deed on the spot. You finish, you say to one another I love you, and the game finishes. The end screen starts, 10 out of 10 game, good gameplay, good story, good ending, love it, and the end screen is pretty cute with the art style. Upon finishing the game and entering back into your save, the game gives you the choice to change your choices for when you want to tell the truth or not. You can unlock all the cutscenes and watch them whenever you want. Now the normal ending, you defeat Mona and you rush towards her, but she starts speaking to only you and asks you why, when she wants only you, until Una slices through Mona. She will say, is this how it ends? And Una asks Mona why she's trying to keep the artifact from us. In reply, Mona says you'll see soon enough. Pamela will go for her sister and start crying. Mona will slowly start to disappear and tell you that she is glad you will be here at the end, and she dies. And Pamela starts to fade out of existence and gone, leaving Una traumatized and crying. Una will look at you with a smile full of sadness and grief. She will thank you and you will disappear. You will wake up in front of your laptop not remembering much, and suddenly an earthquake appears. You will be sucked into the computer just like in the beginning of the game and start over. So yeah, this ending, looking back at it again, is very sad, and it's worse than the bad ending. I feel very sad after looking at it again. The bad ending is when you get defeated at the final boss. The cutscene will start with Mona looking at you with her lusty eyes. She'll start doing the thing with you until you pass out, and you'll be her slave forever. Not as bad? That's it. That's everything from the main game. You have a continuation of the story after getting the good ending. A cutscene will start playing where we can see the vampire queen complaining that we stole Una from her. A strange character will help the vampire queen in return of a favor. She'll attack Mona firstly, and we return to the village where you and Una are having fun. After that, the succubus minions will be speaking to you in your dream. They tell you that the succubus queen warns you not to come to the dungeon, and they leave. You wake up after that, and so does Una. She tells you she had a bad dream of Mona getting defeated. You tell her about yours, and you both agree to go back there because you're worried about Pamela and the dungeon. Before you go, she asks you if the succubus only delivered the message and nothing else. You unlock a new dungeon stage, and when you start, you see that the teleportation device seems not to work. When you enter the dungeon, some new monsters seem to appear, which are way stronger than before. Then the succubus queen appears, and Una seems scared, but the queen says do not worry. She wants to join us because it's too dangerous for her too, and is scared for you, and Una warns her not to touch us. You unlock a new type of cards after this. These cards let you summon characters in the battle. The first one you get is the succubus queen. The others you unlock when you progress further. When you summon the queen, you will get a new card and a passive. The passive is when after playing 3 cards, you get a damage buff of an attribute countering another. When you use the card itself, you deal damage and gain a stack that buffs the passive. The first boss of the new dungeon is the vampire queen. Now I forgot to record the first part, and you will have this battle that I lost at the end. She has 2 phases, and the second she just does more damage. She attacks one turn and summons a bat in the next one. And if you can see, she's a bit mad. When you lose, she'll do the thing with you, unlike the first time you fight her where she does it with Una. When you defeat the vampire, she'll be weak and Pamela will arrive to tell her she needs magical blood. Una gives and she leaves. She tells us Mona is captured by someone and Pamela disappears. The vampire queen then joins us as a character. Her card allows you to do more damage, the more HP you have, and every 3 cards you get a blessing that steals health from the damage you have dealt. The second boss is the person who recruited the vampire queen and defeated Mona. She'll make some of your cards more expensive, and whenever you hit her, she'll do more damage to you. After you have depleted her health enough, she'll tell you she wants you and she will let everyone else go. But you refuse and have to see her further into the dungeon. Then Pamela tells us she summoned us to the world because her wish to the artifact was that her sister could see the person person who mattered to her the most. You tell that the first person you saw was Una, and the succubus queen says that Una and Mona might be the same person. The queen tells us that the dreams of Mona are more ancient and that Mona might have lived longer than Una, which means Mona is Una from the future and Pamela is both their sister. And the reason Mona and Pamela are here is because the vampire queen wished for new allies, because she was losing against the succubus queen. They hate each other, by the way, and we go save Mona after that. Pamela joins our team. Her passive is that when you attack an enemy, you have a chance to steal a treasure from them, and the more treasures you have, the bomb that she summons when you use her ability does more damage. The last boss is again Noah. She does the same as before, but she has more stages and can steal a card of yours that you have to free to get back. Whenever you deplete her health below the certain lines in her health, you will be transported somewhere else to fight one of the companion cards with random cards in your deck. When you reach the last stage, she will steal all of your cards and you will enter a cutscene. She tells us that she wants to bring the world into balance because we are an intruder and everything is going to shit. And also the future shouldn't be in the present. Pamela is made by Mona because of her dead sister, and Mona joins the fight with us as a companion. Her card increases your damage by the amount of dots you have, and when you use her card, she gives random dot stat on the enemy. When you defeat Noah, everyone will fall down from their injuries, and it seems Mona and Pamela are disappearing because of the imbalance of the world. The whole world is shattering, and the only way to save it is by Una telling her wish to send us home. She's crying and says that she wants everyone to live together happily. Everything gets fixed, we become part of the world and everyone is happy. Then you do the deed with Una and Mona at the same time, and then you get this cute cutscene of you guys living happily in the same house. That's the true ending. After the ending, you unlock a new dungeon that's just infinite and works as a record place, but all of your items will be locked. You can only pick some decks given to you. You can adjust the difficulty of the dungeon and you can get random items with a new currency that you can buy new cards, treasures and runes with. You unlock more cards the more you progress through the infinite dungeon. That's everything from the game. I enjoyed it a lot. The gameplay was good and the story I would say is 10 out of 10. It's a bit long, but it's worth the money. It left me on my toes at some points. If you want it, I recommend buying it. The design and animations are top tier, so go ahead, Goon my boy. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day. See you in the next one.
Why am I watching these videos? Bro, do I live in Bulgaria? What is this apartment? What?